Hello everyone. Today we are going to explain fourth method of pest control, that is chemical control method or chemical control measures. So chemical control in the conventional sense involves the use of different chemicals which kills the insect pest. However, in recent years many discoveries have been made the substances that influence the insect behavior or that change the insect behavior. For example, chemicals which are useful in attracting the insects or the pest or the repels the insect pest or which may produce some other effects such as sterility without killing the insects. Such type of chemicals or the substances can be used in the pest management which provides or which helps to solve the pest problems. And thus, a modern definition of the chemical control may be the use of chemicals to kill, to harm, or in other ways influences the pest for the purpose of their control. So, chemical control measures includes or involves the use of variety of chemicals or the pesticides for the destruction or killing of the insect pest or other pest so as to protect the agricultural produce or so as to uh, protect the variety of crops which are grown or cultivated in the agricultural fields. So chemical control is simply a use of different chemicals or a toxic chemicals or the poisons so as to kill the insect pest or other pest by different ways. So the substances or the chemicals or the poisons which kill the insects due to their properties of chemical reactions are called as insecticides or the insect poisons. So there are different type of pesticides or the chemicals which are toxic, and on the basis of their chemical reaction they kills the variety of pest or the insect pest, and such chemicals are called as the pesticides because which are useful in killing the variety of pesticides. The term pest means the destructive organism causing loss or damage to the crops, and sedus means to kill. So these are the chemicals, toxic chemicals, which kills the different type of pest, and thus the term or the name is pesticides. So there are large number of pesticides or insecticides available in the market which are formulated or prepared by various industries and marketed under various trade names. So there are large number of pesticides or insecticides which are produced or manufactured by various industries and marketed by various trade names. A knowledge of relative toxicity of the pesticides is quite necessary for their study and the proper use. So knowledge of relative toxicity of the pesticide, knowledge of relative toxicity of the pesticides is very important for the study of pesticides or for the proper use of the pesticides. The most satisfactory criterion, the most satisfactory criterion for acute toxicity of liquid or solid insecticides or pesticides is the median lethal concentration. So most important or satisfactory criterion to study or uh, the acute toxicity of the liquid or solid pesticides is the median lethal concentration, that is LC50. LC50 lethal concentration, median lethal concentration, and this is the concentration. LC50 is thus a concentration or a dose, of the pesticide or the insecticide so as to kill the 50% pest, or so as to achieve the 50% mortality, of the pest, that is the LC50 lethal concentration for 50% mortality, or a median lethal dose, that is a LD50. So LC50 usually the term used for the lethal concentration to cause or for a 50% mortality in case of aquatic organisms, and median lethal dose is a median lethal concentration or median lethal dose to cause 50% mortality in case of terrestrial animals. So, the most satisfactory criterion for the studies of acute toxicity of liquid or solid pesticides is the median lethal concentration, that is LC50 for aquatic animals or aquatic organisms, and median lethal dose, that is LD50 for the terrestrial animals. So in both the cases it is a lethal dose of the pesticide, or it is a lethal concentration of the pesticide so as to cause the 50% mortality either in aquatic animals or in the terrestrial animals, called as LC50 and LD50. So this is a single dose. This is a single dose of the poison or the toxic chemical or the pesticides to, and this a single dose of the pesticide or single concentration of the pesticide causes 50% mortality of the study organisms. So, the most satisfactory criterion for the studies of acute toxicity of liquid or solid insecticides or pesticides is the median lethal concentration, that is LC50, or median lethal dose LD50 is determined on laboratory animals like rats, insects, and other test animals. It is the amount of the toxicant dose. It is the amount of the toxicant dose required to kill 50% of the test animals in a single dose. And it is expressed in milligrams or parts per million ppm, parts per million or ppm per kilogram of body weight. So LC50 or LD50 is the amount of the toxicant dose required to kill 50% of the test animals in a single dose, and it is expressed in a milligrams or ppm per kilogram of the body weight. So this is very important so as to uh, study the toxicity or the toxic effect, so as to study the toxicity or the toxic effect of any liquid or solid pesticides, will have to consider its LC50 or LD50 dose so as to manage the concentration for killing or for the control of destruction of any type of pest. So there are many factors like phytotoxicity, effects of the pesticides on animals, pollution effect, degree of persistence of the residue of the chemical on the crops are also to be considered while selecting any chemical or a pesticide for the use to control the pest. So there are many factors such as phytotoxicity, effect of pesticides on the animals, pollution effects, degree of persistence of the residue of the chemical or a poison on the crops are the different factors and which should be considered while selecting any chemical for the purpose of pest control. So chemicals used for the controlling these pests, chemicals used for controlling the pest can be divided into different groups based on the nature of the pest or the type of pest to be controlled or killed, such as. So there are different type of pesticides, or there are various type of chemicals which are classified on the basis of type of pest killed or type of pest controlled, such as 1. Acaricides. Acaricides. So these are the toxic chemicals. These are also a toxic chemicals used for the control of mites and ticks, which are belonging to order Acarina, of the class Arachnida and phylum Arthropoda. So for the control of ticks and mites, one can use or we can use the chemicals or the poisons called as acaricides. Then algicides. So these are again chemicals used for the destruction of algae and other aquatic vegetation called as algicides. Antiseptics, which are used, these are again chemicals used for the protection of the non-metals from the microorganisms. Arboricides. So these are also chemicals or the poisons used for the destruction or killing of undesirable arboreal and bushy vegetation. Arboreal means atmospheric, arboreal and bushy vegetation. Then bactericides. So these are also the poisons or the chemicals used for the control of bacterial diseases or so as to destroy or control the variety of bacteria causing different type of bacterial diseases. Then fungicides. So these are also chemicals or the poisons and used for the control of plant diseases caused by various type of fungi. Herbicides. So these are also chemicals used for the control of weeds, or different type of herbs. Then insecticides. These are again chemicals or the poisons used for the control of harmful insect pest. Lemacicides or molluscicides, which are again chemicals or the poisons used for the control of different type of molluscan pest like snail sludges, like gastropods. Then nematocides for the control of nematodes. So these are the chemicals used for the control of nematode type of pest. Rodenticides. These are again toxic chemicals or the poisons used for the control of rodents like rats and bandicoots and other vertebrate animals. So the classification of the pesticides, toxic chemicals which are used for the control of different type of pest. So on the basis of type of pest killed, there are these 9 type of pesticides: acaricides, algicides, antiseptics, arboricides, bactericides, fungicides, herbicides, insecticides, lemacicides, or molluscicides, nematocides, rodenticides. So these are the different type of pesticides which can be used to control the different groups or the particular groups of the pest. Then insecticides. So insecticide, we are going to classify the different type of insecticides on the basis of their mode of action or a nature of penetration or a mode of action. So insecticides can be divided into the following groups according to the nature of their penetration or the mode of action into the insect body. So insecticides can be classified into four different groups on the basis of mode of their action. On the basis of mode of action of the different type of insecticides, there are four categories or the types of the insecticides, and these are stomach poisons, contact poisons, systematic poisons, and the fumigants. So there are four type of insecticides. The insecticides can be classified into four types on the basis of their mode of action or nature of their penetration in the insect body or the mode of action into the insect body. So these are four type of insecticides such as stomach poisons or systemic poisons, contact poisons, systematic poisons, and fourth, that is fumigants. So we'll explain all these four type of insecticides one by one. So first we'll explain stomach poison. So stomach poisons are also called as systemic poisons. So this type of poison acts through the stomach. So the mode of action or the toxicity effect of the stomach poison is through stomach. So toxicity effect or killing of the pest or the insect pest occur through the action of the stomach poison through the stomach. So when the particular poison or the insecticide reaches into the stomach, where it will undergo its toxic effect and then kills the insect pest. So this type of poison acts through the stomach. So when the stomach poisons or systemic poisons are consumed or pass along with the food and pass through the digestive tract or reaches into the stomach, then it produces its toxic effect and kills the insect pest. These are commonly mixed. These are commonly mixed with dust or its solution and spread up and down or in and above the plant. So these stomach poisons or systemic poisons are commonly mixed with a dust and its solution and spread up and down or in and above the crop plant, which are infested with a variety of insect pests, and thus insect dies up when eating them. So insect pest dies or killed when they eat or consume the plant materials or the plant leaves or the plant parts which are containing these stomach poisons or the chemicals or the pesticides. So the stomach poisons or systemic poisons which acts through the stomach. So when they get entry, when the stomach poisons get their entry along with the food into the digestive tract or the stomach of the insect pest. So the toxicity effect or the toxic effect of these stomach poisons will occur only when they get entry into the digestive tract along with the food or the plant materials which are containing the part of the stomach poisons either in the form of dust or in the form of its solution, which is when spread onto the plants or the crops. So when the insect pest feeding onto these plants containing these stomach poisons or the part of their stomach poisons either in the form of dust or in the form of its solution, when consumed by the insect pest, ultimately get dies or killed when these stomach poisons reaches to the stomach or in the digestive tract, producing their toxic effect. Generally, the stomach poisons are applied against the insect possessing chewing type of mouth parts. Generally, the stomach poisons are applied for the control of the insect pest which are having chewing type of mouth parts. But they are also used for the insect pest which are having sponging, siphoning, lapping or sucking type of mouth parts also under certain condition. So different type of insects which are having different modes. There are different type of insect pest attacking variety of crops and which are having different modes of feeding. Means the insects which are some are foliage feeders, some are sap suckers, some are feeding onto the flowers or the nectars, some are the borers, some are leaf miners, some are root borers. So there are different categories of the insect pest which are having different modes of the feeding or different feeding habit. Can also be controlled by using the stomach poisons. But usually or generally, the stomach poisons are applied on the crops against the insect pest which are having chewing type of mouth parts or mandibulate type of mouth parts. But they are also used for the control of insects which are having sponging, siphoning, lapping or sucking type of mouth parts also. So the good stomach poisons should possess the certain important properties. Good stomach poison should have some important properties such as it should be stable. Stomach poison should be stable, cheap and available in a large quantities, or it should not be distasteful as to repel the pest. So this should have some taste. It should not be a distasteful, because what will happen? The pest will move away from the particular crop and ultimately this will repel the pest and which will not help to control the pest. So it should not be distasteful or as to repel the pest. It should not be phytotoxic. The stomach poison should not be phytotoxic and it should be soluble in water. It should be water soluble. It should not be phytotoxic. If it is phytotoxic, so it is harmful to the consumers. So the human cannot consume such vegetables which can be toxic due to the uh, stomach poisons. So the pesticides or any pesticide or the stomach poison should not be phytotoxic. So that can lead to the phytotoxicity, or the plant material or the plant products can be phytotoxic and that will be harmful, can lead into the poisoning effect or toxic effect onto the other animals like human being or the certain other animals. So stomach poison should not be phytotoxic and they should be water soluble. It should be uniformly sprayed. The stomach poison should be sprayed uniformly on the treated surface of the plants and not leave any harmful residue on the plant surfaces. So this should not remain active. The stomach poison should not remain active for longer period of the time as a persistent part or the residue on the plant surfaces. So there are some important stomach poisons. There are some important stomach poisons. Example, lead arsenate, calcium arsenate, methoxychlore, Paris green, and certain phosphate type of pesticides, that is BHC, benzene hexachloride, DDT, 2,4-dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, that is DDT, and the fluorine compounds. So these are the some of the examples of the stomach poisons which are having their mode of action when these stomach poisons reaches to the digestive tract or when get consumed or when get entry along with the food in the digestive tract or the stomach of the insect pest, and their toxicity effect will occur only when they reaches into the lumen of stomach or in the digestive tract, can lead into the toxic effect and then can kill the particular pest. And thus these poisons or the pesticides are called as stomach poisons, and examples of which are lead arsenate, calcium arsenate, methoxychlore, Paris green, then certain type of phosphates may be organophosphates, that is BHC, DDT, and the fluorine compounds. So which are the examples of the stomach poisons. Then second type of insecticide, that is contact poison. The toxic chemicals or the contact poisons which kills the insects simply by its contact or their contact or touch is termed as the contact poison. So these are the pesticides or the insecticides can be called as contact poison, and their mode of action is through simply a contact. So whenever these toxic chemicals or the contact poisons will come in contact with the insect pest or any organ of the insect pest, get killed. So these toxic chemicals kills the insects or the pest by simple contact or touch is called as the contact poison. The contact poisons are usually used. The contact poisons are usually used in the form of spray or in the form of dust, in the form of spray or in the form of dust. And these poisons acts by direct penetration through the parts of the body wall, that is through the sutures, bases of the sex organs, membranes, and the cuticle into the blood or hemolymph. So the contact poisons, they penetrate directly to the different parts or exposed parts or the structures of the body of insect pest, either through the cuticle or through the different sutures, that is gaps, or sutures means junctions, sutures, then bases of sex organs, membranes, and the cuticle or exocuticle, body wall, that through which this contact poison penetrates and enters through the different structures or the body wall into the body and reaches to the blood or hemolymph and acting as a general or a nerve poison. Then it acts, then its toxic effect or the toxicity or killing effect will be caused only when these poisons, contact poisons, penetrates through the different parts or the skin or body wall of the body into the body tissues and reaches to the blood or hemolymph and then leads to its toxic effect as a general poison or a nerve poison. The contact poisons are highly lipophilic. The contact poisons are highly lipophilic, so by the lipids, readily absorbed by the lipids which are present in the epicuticle or the body wall or the exoskeleton. So exoskeleton, that is epicuticle or outermost layer of the body wall or the skin or integument is called as epicuticle or exoskeleton. So that is also containing some type of lipids. So contact poisons get absorbed. The contact poisons get absorbed in the epicuticle or the integument of the skin or body wall through the lipids, as it is a lipophilic. So most of the contact poisons, they are highly lipophilic and thus get readily absorbed in the lipids present in the epicuticle of the integument or the skin or exoskeleton. Contact poisons are naturally occurring compounds. There are two categories of the contact poisons. One, that is naturally occurring compounds. Contact poisons are having two groups or two categories. One, that is naturally occurring compounds such as nicotine, pyrethrum, rutinone, or second group, that is synthetic compounds such as BHC, DDT, parathion, or the mixture of compounds from either groups, one or both groups can be treated as a contact poisons. So the contact poisons are having two groups, one that is natural compounds and two that is synthetic compounds. So there are two groups of the contact poison, one that is natural compound such as nicotine, pyrethrum and rutinone, and synthetic compounds which are in the form of BHC, DDT, parathion, etc. So, the contact poisons can be used by taking a mixture of one or both the groups, mixture of nicotine, pyrethrum or rutinone, or a mixture of BHC, DDT, parathion, or the mixture of both the groups, that is naturally occurring compound and the synthetic compounds can be mixed together. Naturally occurring compound and the synthetic compounds can be mixed together and can be used or treated for the treatment or control of the insect pest as a contact poisons. Generally, Generally, these are soluble, these contact poisons. Generally, the contact poisons are soluble in a plant and insect oils or animal fats. The lethal action of these compounds in the field are due to the following three mechanisms: the toxicity effect or lethal effect for killing the pest, the lethal effect or toxic effect of these contact poisons or the compounds in the field are due to three mechanisms such as transport from outside the cuticle to the site of action, or the toxic effect or mode of action in the body of insect pest. So mechanism first mechanism of the contact poison for causing its toxic effect or lethal effect on the pest is one, that is transport from outside the cuticle into the body to the site of action. Second, this enters inside the body and usually inhibits the enzymes or other protein interactions. So when these contact poisons reaches inside the body of insect pest, that can inhibit different enzymes or that can interact with the different proteins in the body of insect pest, and thirdly subsequently acts on nervous system or respiratory system or other system involving in the biochemical effects of the pest. So there are three type of mechanisms there are three type of mechanisms which are responsible for the lethal action or toxic effect of the contact poison. First one, that is transport of the contact poison from outside the cuticle into the body of insect pest. Second, that is inhibition of enzymes or the interaction of these contact poisons. When these contact poison enters or reaches into the body of the insect pest, then they react with the different enzymes or they interact with the different proteins in the body of insect pest. And thirdly, it can produce its toxic effect on the nervous system, respiratory system, and other systems which are involved in the biochemical effects of the on the pest. The contact poisons may be instantaneous. The contact poisons may be instantaneous in their action when they are called knockdown. When they are called as knockdown poisons. Knockdown poisons means when the contact poisons enters the body of the pest, immediately cause its death. So mode of action is very fast. Toxic effect or lethal effect of the contact poison is very fast or rapid and immediately cause its death. So insect pest can be killed immediately after its entry of the toxic in the its body. So contact poison when gets its entry into the body of insect pest immediately cause the death. That is called as knockdown poisons like a pyrethrum, or it may take several hours to kill the pest. So the contact poisons are again of two types. Maybe instantaneous. Instantaneous means the contact poisons when getting entry in the body of insect pest immediately cause or immediately produce its toxic effect or lethal action and leads to the immediate death of the insect pest called as knockdown contact poison, and its example is pyrethrum. And there are certain other contact poisons which may take several hours to produce its lethal effect or causing the death of the insect pest after several hours of its entry. So the contact poison may be knockdown poisons causing immediate death of the pest, and there are some contact poison which are supposed to be producing its lethal effect and kills the pest after several hours of its entry. This is about the contact poisons. Then uh, there are again another examples, that is contact poisons. Many contact poisons like DDT, BHC are also act as stomach poison if taken into the stomach of an insect. So there are certain other contact poisons which will, when get entry in the body of insect pest, which serves as a stomach poison or a systemic poison and can also lead into its lethal effect or toxicity effect and can lead into the death of the insect pest. So many contact poisons such as DDT, BHC, they are also acting as stomach poison. So whenever these stomach poisons such as DDT, BHC getting entry into the digestive tract through the contaminated food materials can also lead to the toxic effect and serves as a stomach poison and can also lead into the death of the insect pest. Some of the important contact poison such as BHC, commonly called as gamexin or benzene hexachloride, DDT, DDT, the long form of DDT is 2,4 dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane DDT 2,4 dichloro 2,4 dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane DDT. Then nicotine preparation, lime sulfur, then toxaphene, chloroden, dieldrin, aldrin, methoxychlor, pyrethrum, oil emulsions, rotenone, thiocyanate, TEPP, parathion, and cystox etc. These are all the examples of the contact poison. So these are all examples of the contact poisons and can be used uh, for the treatment or control of different type of insect pest. One of the example, that is malathion. For example, malathion, commonly called as carbon phos, is also called as it is a malathion. So malathion is a uh, having a complex type of chemical formula, malathion, that is C10H19O6PS2 is O-dimethyl, yes, 1,2-carboethoxy ethyl phospho phosphorethioate. So this is very much long chemical name, but is a malathion. So malathion carbon phos, it is a technical uh, grade material. It is a malathion is a technical grade material and is a 95 to 98% pure malathion, having purity that is 95 to 98%, and it is a technical grade material or a contact poison with a 95 to 98% purity, and it with a unpleasant odor, light yellow to dark brown color of the liquid with a strong offensive odor, and it has very low solubility in a water, slightly soluble in mineral oils and soluble in most of the organic solvents, unstable in an alkaline medium, and serves as a contact as well as stomach poison. So this is just uh, uh, different type of features or the characteristics of the malathion. These are the different properties or the features of the malathion, and it also serves as a contact poison as well as stomach poison. So commonly used for the wide variety of pests. Malathion is used for the treatment of wide variety of pests. It is also applied for the control of mosquitoes, flies and bed bugs, and it is having low phytotoxicity and the lowest toxicity to the mammals as compared to other organophosphates. So this is organophosphate category of pesticide. Organophosphate type of pesticide. Malathion is a organophosphate type of pesticide. It is having several properties as already we have read, and it is commonly used for wide variety of pests, and it is also applied as a contact poison or stomach poison and for the control of mosquitoes, flies and bed bugs also. It is having low phytotoxicity, or it is also having low toxicity to the mammals as compared to other organophosphates. So formulation of the malathion is formulated as 50% effective concentration, emulsifiable. So this is a yellow to brown colored liquid. Malathion is a formulation of 50% effective concentration. That is actual compound malathion 50% and 50% other materials or the inert material or a emulsifiable concentrated aerosol 50% effective concentration. Formulation of the malathion is formulated as a 50% effective concentration. Emulsifiable means we can dissolve it in a water. Emulsifiable concentrated aerosol. Then 5% dust. It is also in the form of 5% dust or a powder, or it is also in the form of 25% wettable powder. So this wettable powder, 25% wettable powder of the malathion can be dissolved in a water, can be mixed in a water either in a powder form or in the granule form in a water, and then can be applied in the form of spray on the particular crop or might be for the control of the pest, public health pest like mosquitoes, flies, and the bedbugs around the houses. The low young concentrate formulation and very effective against crop pests such as aphids, plant bugs, caterpillars, household pests, and even the livestock pest like lice, flea, ticks. So the uh, malathion formulation may be 50% effective concentration or 5% dust or 25% wettable powder or the granules can be used for the effective control of various crop pests such as aphids, plant bugs, caterpillars, household pests, then livestock pest, that is veterinary pest such as or animal pest such as lice, fleas, and ticks. So this is about the contact poisons, and one of the important example of the contact poison as a malathion, um, so as to treat or control the different type of crop pest, then household or public pest, and even the livestock pest also. Then third type of insecticide, that is systematic poisons. There is a difference in a term systemic poison and the systematic poison. Systemic poisons are the stomach poisons. Systemic poisons are the stomach poisons when the systemic poisons or the stomach poisons getting entry into the digestive tract of the insect pest, producing this toxic effect and then kills the insect pest. But the systematic poisons are of different type. Systematic poisons are the toxicants. Systematic poisons are toxicants when applied to a part of the plant, can be absorbed or penetrate into the plant tissues and transported or migrated from the point of application to the other part of the plant and increase its concentration in the plant. Means the systematic poisons leads to or cause the phytotoxicity. The systematic poisons or the toxicants, when applied onto the plants or the crops, they are absorbed by the plant parts or they penetrate into the plant tissues, and these are transported throughout the plant. These are transported to the different parts of the crop plant from the point of application to the different parts of the crop plant, or the and the plants become toxic, or this leads to the phytotoxicity. Together with there is an increase of concentration of the systematic poisons in the different plants or the crop of plants, and have the property of penetrating plants by combining with a lipoid cuticle, or uh, systemic insecticides. Lipoid cuticle, that is even the insect pest. These are having properties with which can penetrate into the plants, and they can also penetrate in the lipoid cuticle of the insect pest. Lipoid cuticle of the insect pest can also pass the systematic poison into the insect body also. So the most of the modern pesticides having the property of penetrating plants by combining with the lipoid cuticle of the insect pest, and serves as a systemic insecticide also, and can translocate a long distance, making the whole plant insecticidal. So systematic poisons are the toxicants. Systematic poisons are the toxicants or the poisons when applied onto the crop or the plants, which are absorbed into the plant tissue or which are having ability to penetrate the plant tissue from where these are transported or migrated to the different parts of the plant, and the entire plant become toxic. Entire plant become toxic, and this leads to the phytotoxicity. Systematic poisons are used to control the insects having piercing and sucking type of mouth parts like aphids, plant bugs, caterpillars, etc. So, whenever the systematic poisons are applied into the crops or on the plants, they become phytotoxic. So whenever the pest which are having piercing and sucking type of mouth parts, or which are usually sap suckers, the insect pest which are the category of sap suckers. They are having piercing and sucking type of mouth parts which are feeding onto the plant juice or the cell sap with the help of piercing and sucking type of mouth parts. So ultimately these systematic poisons are getting entry into the body of or digestive tract of the insect pest, which are either sap suckers or feeding onto the plant juices with the help of piercing and sucking type of mouth parts, such as aphids, plant bugs, or the caterpillars. And since the poisons, when applied to the root, stem, leaves, or seeds of the plants, these are absorbed and reaches to the different parts of the plants. So plants become phytotoxic, and when these insect pests, which are of sapsucker, or feeding onto the plant juices with the help of piercing and sucking type of mouth parts, when feeds on to such phytotoxic crop plants, get get these insecticides or pesticides in the form of systematic poisons in the body of these insect pests, and then lead to its toxic effect, and then it serves as a systemic poisons or stomach poison. So systematic poisons, these are the category of the toxic chemicals or the toxicants when applied onto the crops or the plants, get absorbed into the plant tissue or penetrates into the plant tissue, and from where these are transported to the different parts of the crop plants, and their concentration, the concentration of the systematic poison will also increase in the plant. So this leads to the phytotoxicity. So on feeding of the insect pest onto these phytotoxic plants, ultimately getting these systematic poisons in the body of their into in their body through the digestive tract, and can lead to its toxicity, and then then these be treated as a systemic poisons or the stomach poisons when they get entry into the aphids or plant bugs through the piercing and sucking type of mouth parts through the phytotoxic plants or the crops, leads to its toxicity and then get killed. For example, the chemicals those work as stomach poisons are as follows. These chemicals will lead to the phytotoxicity, but after their feeding by the insect pest, they become uh, or they serve as they serve as a stomach poisons, and then lead to the toxic effect or lethal effect, and leading into the death of the insect pests such as aphids, plant bugs, or the caterpillars, which are having piercing and sucking type of mouth parts, or even caterpillars which are having mandibulate type mouth parts. They are feeding onto the phytotoxic plants on the foliage, which is really toxic with the insecticidal uh, material or a toxicant as a systematic poison in the leaves. So the larvae or the caterpillars which are feeding onto the leaves of the phytotoxic plants due to the systematic poison can get killed due to the toxic effect when produced uh, in the stomach. toxic effect when produced in the stomach of the caterpillars or even the plant bugs or the aphids which are having uh, piercing and sucking type of mouth parts. So different type of insect pest which may be sapsuckers, may be foliage feeder can also get killed due to the toxic effect of the systematic poisons which are present in the plant, which are present in the plant materials or the plant parts. So on feeding of these phytotoxic plants, all category of the insect pest can be killed due to the toxic effect of the systematic poison when they reaches to the digestive tract of the stomach of the insect pest. So thimet, one of the example is thimet. Thimet acts as a systemic poison. Thimet acts as a systemic poison, but previously it is applied or used as a systematic poison. So this thimet, when thimet granules, for example, when thimet granules are applied in the field, will get dissolved in the water which is flooded with the crop. So this will then reaches to the soil, then taken up through the roots and then spread into the entire plant parts or the stem and leaves, and this will lead into a phytotoxicity. So thimet acts as a systemic poison, contact poison and fumigants in insects. Beside this, it is also effective against the nematodes and the mites. So thimet is a systematic poison but can be treated or can serve as a systemic poison, contact poison, fumigants also, and it can be used for the destruction or the killing of the nematodes and mites together with the different type of insect pest such as sorghum soot fly, aphids, sucking insects of the cotton, tobacco and the vegetables, even gall midge fly of the rice, etc. Then metacystoc is also another example of the systematic poison. So this is about the uh, systematic poisons. So there are two examples, thimet and the metacystox, which can lead to the phytotoxicity first and then acts as a stomach poison and then producing lethal effect or toxic effect and leads into the death of the insect pest which consumes the phytotoxic plants. Then fourth, that is fumigant. Fumigants are the chemicals or the insecticides which act in a gaseous form that enter the body through the spiracles and spread all over via the tracheal system of the insect pest and then kills the insects. So the fumigants, these are the toxic chemicals. Fumigants, these are the toxic chemicals or the insecticides which acts in the gaseous state or the vapors. So gaseous state or the vapors of the fumigants will produce the toxic effect on the insect body or the pest like insect and then kills the insect by either its toxic effect directly onto the respiratory system or the nervous system, or maybe general toxic effect can be produced when the vapors or the gases of the fumigants will reach in the body of insects through the spiracles or tracheal system. So fumigants kill insects in two ways. One, that is by clogging the tracheal system, clogging or blocking the tracheal system and breaking or cutting it off from the oxygen supply. Means the fumigants, vapors of the fumigants will enter, the vapors of the fumigants can first enter into the respiratory system through the spiracles and the tracheal system and can block or break the supply of oxygen and can stop the exchange of O2 and CO2 or the respiration in the insects. So first it can cause clogging or blocking of the tracheal system and stops the respiration. Then secondly, when these fumigants or the vapors of the fumigants can lead its toxic action when it interferes with the respiratory process, and therefore these chemicals kills the insect irrespective of their mouth parts or the feeding habits. So the fumigants can kill the insect pest by two ways. One, that is clogging or blocking of the respiratory system. One, and secondly, they can interfere with the respiration or the respiratory process and then lead to the uh, death of the insect pest. Fumigants are used in the vapor state to keep the insect population or to control the insect population in buildings, storage, or ship holds, and sometimes in the soils. So we'll have to use the fumigants in a airtight condition or in a controlled conditions. We can use the fumigants in a controlled conditions or a airtight condition because the vapors of the fumigants are toxic. The mode of action of the fumigants is through the mode of action or the toxic effect of the fumigants is through the vapors or the gases which are evolved or produced from the particular fumigants or the chemicals which are treated or used as a fumigants. So fumigants are commonly the mixture of two or more gases formulated in the form of liquid under pressure. Phosphine or for example phosphine or hydrogen phosphide. Phosphine or hydrogen phosphide is a gas released from the tablets containing aluminum phosphide and ammonium carbonate in presence of moisture. So the fumigants are manufactured by using one or more number of toxic chemicals together which on its use produces or releases the gases. So gases may be one or two. The phosphine gas or hydrogen phosphide gas is released from the phosphine tablets which are composed or containing two type of toxic chemicals, that is aluminum phosphide and ammonium carbonate. So the fumigant, that is phosphine, which releases hydrogen phosphide gas but is prepared phosphine tablets or the fumigant is prepared by using two chemicals, that is aluminum phosphide and ammonium carbonate in presence of moisture. So that will release a fumigant or the gas called as a hydrogen phosphide or a phosphine. So a good fumigant should possess a good volatile with a deep penetrating power, should not be corrosive to the equipment and household articles, should not be inflammable. Fumigant should not be inflammable, or it should not be harmful to man and the plants. So generally fumigants are used in warehouses, coolies, bins or airtight containers, tent house, ships, aeroplanes, factories, mills, hotels, prisons, theaters, etc. to kill the insect like ants, termites, grubs, nematodes, stem borers, bark-eating caterpillars, intestinal worms, chinch bugs, grasshoppers, etc. So basically the fumigants are the chemicals or the insecticides which releases the toxic vapors or the gases. When these gases will get entry into the respiratory system of the variety of insect pest, leads into the toxic effect and then kills the insect pest due to the toxic effect of the vapors which are entering into the body of insect pest through the respiratory tract or the spiracles or the tracheal system, and then will lead into its toxic effect and causing the death of the insect pest. So the fumigants, these are the toxic chemicals. Fumigants are the toxic chemicals or the insecticides which act or which react with the pest and producing its toxic effect in the form of vapors or the gaseous states. So usually the fumigants enters the body of pest through the respiratory system. So it can stop or arrest or interfere with the respiratory activities together with its toxic effect as a like a general poison when enters into the body of the insect pest. So there are different examples of the fumigants such as carbon tetrachloride, ethylene dichloride, ethylene dibromide, methyl bromide, methyl chloride. So there are different type of fumigants which can be used for the control of stored grain pest. Usually, the fumigants are used in a airtight conditions or airproof conditions because the toxic effect is occurring through the vapors. So we cannot use the fumigants for the control of different crop pest in an open atmosphere. We cannot treat the crop plants or variety of crops which are grown in the agricultural fields by the fumigants. So fumigants can be used only for the control of the pest of the stored grains. So this is best practice. We can use the fumigants or the fumigation technique can be practiced for the control of stored grain pest or in a closed situations or in a airtight conditions we can use the fumigants for the destruction or killing of the pest in the warehouses, godowns, cottages or theaters, hotels, factories, aeroplanes, tent house. So we can use the fumigants for the control of the pests which are found in the stored grains or in the houses. So there are different type of pest, household pest or the stored grain pest which can be controlled by using the fumigants in a closed situations only. We cannot use the fumigants for the control of crop pest in the agricultural fields. So this is what about the different type of fumigants. So there are different modes or different type of chemicals or the toxic chemicals or the pesticides which are used for the control of insect pest or different pest. So this is about the chemical control measure. Next time we will explain about the biological control measure. So with this we will stop here. Next time we will continue with the biological control measures. So this is what about the explanation regarding chemical control measure. Thank you.